morning. Thank you for coming to the Blue Jay football press conference. This will be our final press conference of the year. We finished out our season last week with a loss at St. Joe in the first round of the playoffs, and wrap things up kind of on a disappointing note on how we played, but at the same time, really a fun year and a good group of kids that we coached this year within the Blue Jay program. We'll go ahead and open it up for some questions.
As far as the season went, does the team wish they would have improved on anything?
Yeah, I think if you look at a couple of our, we have started to kind of look into our post-season stats. The biggest thing, we were -6 in turnover margin, which that's something that hurt us. We know one of our goals is to win that margin. We had some individual games where we did, and then some where we didn't. And last Friday night was a good example where we had 5 first-half turnovers, and really makes it hard to win a game when you're doing that, regardless of how you're doing in the other phases of the game. So that'd probably be the number one thing that we take out of our season at this point right now, is we have to become better with taking care of the football, creating turnovers with defensively, then taking care of it offensively.
Now that your season is over, can you reflect on how the boys played?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing when I look back, and we noticed this last week going into our preparation, we felt like we definitely got better each week. It didn't show up in our first half of our game last Friday, but we felt like we were a lot better team than we were earlier in the year. And I think the biggest thing that we got is more balanced as the year went on. Defensively, we improved in stopping the run and the pass, both of them. And then when you're looking at earlier in the year, we were primarily a run team. We were able to get a passing game that fit in with what we could do, and then also complemented what we did in the run game. And I felt we improved in those areas this year.
You mentioned that it was a fun year. Do you think the tweet that went out last week has affected how the team has viewed not only their playing, but also how the season has gone so far?
Well, I think when you look at finishing up a year like this, we have a good group of kids here, and a strong, small but strong group of seniors that played their final game Friday, and really proud of the leaders that they were within our program and the impact they'll have on these kids coming forward. This year has been one where, we looked our roster, we knew we were going to have a good start to the year in terms of our kids, just because we had over half our team with a 3.0 GPA. They're good students, good citizens, and that definitely carries over in the field. So it was a fun group with that, and I think they enjoyed coming to football each day.
How do you think that the early lead from St. Joe Central kind of affected the rest of the game?
Yeah, that was one thing that we we got behind really quick, and it started off, we had a negative play in there that led us to a punt, and then we punted into right when a storm was starting to come in, and they ended up, after the punt, getting the ball on the 32-yard line and scored. And the ensuing kickoff, we almost ran back, but then had a block in the back and it got called back. So really 2 things that backed us up inside of our own 20 to start. Field position-wise definitely hurt us in that first quarter. And the early lead was a result of that.
Can you talk a little bit about your off-season program? When does all that start up, but looking for next year?
Yeah, we'll start up. We have most of our kids in weight training class. They work in there. And then we do an off-season program 3 days a week that kind of supplements that after school. Those are for our kids that will not be out for a winter sport. We start that after Thanksgiving break. So they have a couple weeks here break, then we'll get going in with that. We just take our roster of returners and add in our freshmen, and then we mark down who's in a sport and who's in either wrestling that's taking place or basketball, whatever it may be that they're out for over the winter. And then the kids that aren't there, we hope that they come in and train, and most of them do. Unless they have a job conflict or something like that, they come in and do the extra work after school in preparation. Just really make them better compete individually and us as a team.
How's your preparation for this next coming season? How's that going to change?
Well, I don't think much will change in what we did from last year. We may have a little bit. There is some new rules in terms of the Misha has some new summer scheduling rules we'll have to adapt to. I think they'll be minor, but nonetheless there'll be a few changes with that. As far as us from a personnel standpoint, it will be different in that last year we were coming in replacing quite a few players. This year, not near as many. There's quite a bit that are coming back, and we'll again reiterate all the spots are open and have that competition standpoint, but we know we're going to bring back a lot of experience, which will change a little bit on how we prepare and how we some of the schemes we look to use next year.
What's been your favorite part about the seniors from this year? Like, what are you going to miss the most about them next year?
these guys, we have, when we look at this small group of seniors, this was a group that was split with a boundary change after their freshman year, and they kind of started off small. They were a really tight-knit, close group, and just fun kids to be around. And I know it was hard on them playing their last game Friday, but you look at them, they're all good students and good players, and just a fun group to be around. And that's what we're going to miss the most, is having them around the summer program.
Seeing some of the younger guys that are coming in, what are you most excited to see about them and how they're progressing through the years?
Yeah, I think what happened this year with the small senior class, it hurt us depth-wise, and it caused us to have to play some younger kids a little bit earlier. And so when you look at that, it is exciting to see that come back, and I'm hoping that next year we can have some more depth. And that'll relay into our JV games and our sophomore games, where we're not pulling as many players up, and we can become a little more stable in those. We had a good year at JV, winning our last 5 JV games, and really proud of that crew and how they worked with that. But at the same time, we had a lot of kids that maybe in a normal season would have been playing sophomore and JV during that time, and could have been even stronger at those levels. So that's what I think I'm looking forward to next year, is kind of having that balance back and having good numbers at every level within our program. All right, I'd like to thank you all for coming today and for all you've done this year in Blue Jay football. Thank you.